Kia ora tātou. We are continuing to journey through the 16 days of activism against gender-based violence, and I'm in Cambridge today with Anne. Hello, Anne.
Hello.
And it's quite exciting actually because we're here because the Cambridge Corps of the Salvation Army, along with the community, are working on a new initiative. Can you tell us a little bit about that? Tell us who you are first, and then tell us what you're doing.
Hello everybody, I'm Anne Morrison and I am the Family Violence Prevention Coordinator for the Waipa communities. And this year I have been working alongside the Salvation Army in partnership with them, and we've been working on a project called I Am Me, which is a program for empowerment of women who have been victims of family violence in our community.
And very important work that you're doing. So can you tell us about why exactly this is happening? What's led you to the point where this is something that you're investing in?
Sure. I guess I've been in this role for almost 2 years now, and previous to me engaging in this type of work, it was a lot more one-off kind of activities.
Yeah.
And when I spoke to the wider team in Cambridge Community House, I realised that the incident levels of women who've been victims of family violence here was really, really high.
Okay.
So here in Cambridge, it is more than one a day of reported cases. So we would get at least that again of unreported cases. So when I sat down and spoke to the team, I said to them, well, we need to actually do something about that. How can we address that number of cases coming through? What might that actually look like? And so having a little bit more conversation then with women who have lived experience of violence in our community, and we talked about what that model would look like. What do they actually need? And so we started forming this program, which is a support program for women. And it's just kind of evolved over time. It was an initial conversation with a couple of women, and then it spread into talking to more and more people in our community, and then engaging with the Salvation Army, because we found a lot of the women actually accessed both services, and we were sharing some of the clients anyway. And then we just started to build and build and build the program, refine it multiple times, and we're now at a stage where we're nearly getting to the end of having a really good, robust program that's been built from the bottom up that we can actually share and pilot early next year.
So it's been a long journey to get to this
Yeah.
point, but you've seen a need in the community, and it's about working together, isn't it?
Yeah.
In the local community.
Yeah.
To make things better for people.
Yeah.
So it's great. So tell us about then, for you personally, why do you want to do this? So there's a need, but you could be doing lots of things.
A little girl came into my life. It's a bit of a long story really, but she is now my foster daughter and we have full guardianship of her. She's 7 years old, and she came from a very violent family background, and trying to help her in that healing journey, working through her trauma, really sort of tweaked my interest in family violence. And then this role sort of popped up, and a colleague of mine said, I think you should apply for this job, I think you'd be really good at it. And I haven't really looked back. I joined the team and I love the work. So even though I don't have lived experience myself, I have a little girl that does, and my job is to help her and support her through that. And so it's probably quite a nice sort of marriage of skill base really, I think.
Yeah, so this is personal for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's cool. I'm sure that God brought that girl into your life for a reason.
Yes.
Not just for her, but the whole community.
Totally, I agree with
the
that.
benefit of that.
Yeah.
So thinking about the course itself, just tell us a little bit more about that. Like, what kind of things do you cover? How does it work? How's it actually going to help people?
The program itself, it's an 8-week program. It's structured to start with. The women come in for 2.5 hour session. The first hour is identified skill base or new information, new learnings, new experiences, and that can be a combination of things around legal processes and systems in place. Could be counselling, financial mentoring and budgeting, mental health, spiritual and cultural support. And so then they have a little break for morning tea, and then the second half of that day is called Just About Me. And in that second half, we put mum at the front of the list. So often mums, as they go through their lives, and all mums will really appreciate this, you're always the last to get everything. If you're cooking a meal, your partner's usually looked after first. Maybe if you've got guests, they're looked after. Then your children are looked after. Then your pets, and then you go back to your kids, and then you go back to your partner, and then you sit down and your dinner's cold. And that happens everyone regularly, you know, and a lot of mums will appreciate that. So in that second hour, we're actually putting mum right at the front of the list. They don't have to worry about anything else. They're going to be pampered. They're going to be looked after. We're going to show them lots of different ways that they can engage in that kind of world where they're probably a little bit nervous about being at the front. They sort of feel a little bit, you know, I don't deserve that. I've got to look after everybody else first. But they might be a little bit funny about that in the beginning, I think. So it's about them feeling that it's okay to be first sometimes. It's okay to have 20 minutes of time just for you, and to have that time to recharge your batteries and things like that.
You've got to look after yourself so that you can be there for your kids,
Yeah.
don't you? And I heard you were saying earlier that includes things like exercise.
Yeah.
And so I love that it's a holistic approach. It's all the different parts of us that need to be well so that we can be the best we can be.
Yeah.
Well, that sounds wonderful. And I know that this is going to be an amazing program for the women in Cambridge. So I want to just finish by asking you, like, what next? So this is going to be launching really shortly, and there might be people in Cambridge who are thinking, I need to get myself to that. How do they do that? But I know there'll also be a whole lot of people watching going, I wish I was in Cambridge, but I'm not.
Yep.
Have you got a word for them as well?
I think if you're a Cambridge woman, if you currently engage with the Salvation Army or the Cambridge Community House, you can have those conversations with the staff there. Both of those partners will be able to refer you into the program. If you don't currently operate or work with either of those two, you can certainly come in and speak to them initially and talk to them a little bit more about the program. So if you're outside of Cambridge, my advice would be initially go and have a conversation with somebody. Talk to somebody that you trust, somebody that you have a good relationship with. That might be a family member, that might be a friend or a neighbour, it might be your pastor, it might be your nurse or your doctor, somebody that you have some connection with already, and just have a bit of a conversation about your situation. The hardest thing to do is that first step, the first time that you tell somebody what you're going through. That's the toughest thing to do.
All the best with this. Thank you for what you're doing, and thanks for being here today. Thanks to you all for watching. We hope this is helpful. So be safe. Let's look after each other. Ka kite.
Thank you.